Today I'm going to be showing you how to create a 3D effect on a container using just HTML and CSS. Before then, welcome back to my channel, and we'll be adding some smooth border radius and a powerful box shadow to give your design that smooth modern lifted look, perfect, for your hero banner, your cards, your button, all sort of things you want to use your 3D effect for. And by the end of this lesson, you will know how to create a container with rounded canals, add depth using layer shadows, customize the look to match your style. Let's get started. Okay. The first thing we are going to do is to create index HTML. Index.html. So what is index.html? Okay, let's put it this way. When you're building a website, the main page is usually named index.html, but you might ask why. The term index is a default file name used by web servers. So when someone visits your website without typing a specific page, for example, the person just typed the domain name, the server automatically looks for a file named index.html to display first. Think of this as the home page or the entry point of your site. If you name it something else like home.html, it won't load automatically unless you manually link it to it. So naming it index.html helps and ensure your website to open correctly and gives users a smooth experience. So that is why we are naming this index.html. Okay. Now, the first thing to create here is HTML tag. HTML tag. Now this is called root tag. Now HTML comprises of uncountable tags. Some are self-closing tags, many have closing tags. So HTML root tag is one of the tags that has closing tags. So this is open tag and this is closing tag. How to differentiate is that closing tag usually have a slash after the opening bracket. There are two very important elements inside our HTML tag, and this first tag is called head tag. Head tag also have opening and closing tag. We have body tag. Inside our head tag, we have something called the title tag. We want to give this page title. What do we want to do exactly? We are trying to create a container to have a 3D effect. So our title, let's just give a 3D effect. 3D effect. But we right click on format document, and okay, I'm not going to do Ctrl save. I'm just going to go to file to show you how to save. Then you can do Ctrl save, continuously. We need to know if our page has been created at all, because before we continue anything, we must be so sure that our page has been created. A blank page with a title called 3D effect. What do? We right click and go to open live server. Great, it shows that our page has been created. It says 3D effects here. We haven't put a favicon, that's why we are saying the World Wide Web favicon, natural favicon here. So 3D effect shows our page has been created and we are doing something right at this stage. Before we continue, I thought we'll create another file called style.css. So this CSS style, it doesn't have to be style. You could write anything you want it to be, but it must be .css, just like this must be .html. Now let's go back to index.html. I'm not going to see it in our HTML, or it's not going to be visible in our browser if we do not connect it. How do we connect our style sheet to our HTML? We'll go to the head. It must be inside the head under the title. Then we are going to create something link tag. Now remember, I said that HTML has tons of tags. Some tags have opening and closing tags, while some are called self-closing tags. For self-closing tag, before you get bracket, closing bracket, you put your slash. Now this is totally different from the tag that has open and closing tags. In the one that has both tags, the closing tag, you're going to put the slash after the opening bracket, but the one that is self-closing tag, you're going to put the tag right before you write the closing bracket, like this. So like this, link. What do we do here? We are going to link our style sheet. How do we link our style sheet? By using now we're going to be using our real attribute. So this is an attribute is equal to okay, we're going to be linking style sheet. What is the style sheet we're actually linking? We do not know. So for us to know the one we are linking, we're going to link it through another attribute, which is href is equal to, then we can take it style.css. It's already here, so I'm just going to take a style.css. So it's saying that anything we do inside this style.css is going to be linking to the it's going to be linking to our HTML, and it's going to be automatically visible in our browser. Let's test it. Let's do our usual right click, format and save. Let's go to our style.css. Before we do anything, it's okay to write HTML, comma, first, because this is just showing that we are linking it to our HTML, nothing serious. Let's choose our body. So here I'm not putting dots before body because the computer recognizes body tag. You recognize tags like HTML, body tag, section tag, div tag. I'm going to be telling you later when we get to where we must do selector by writing dots or point, whatever you know it as, before writing our class. That is when we get to class. Now we haven't given it a class, we are just choosing a tag that the computer recognizes. So body is part of the tag that the computer recognizes, so I'm just taking it straight. We don't want the whole body to have any padding. We also do not want the whole body to have any margin, so I give it 0. But I want to be sure that my style sheet is actually connected to my HTML. I do not want to be deceiving myself, so let me just give it a kind of random color, background color, something random. I'm going to delete this later just to be so sure. This must have changed, or else we are not doing. No, great, beautiful. It shows we are doing something right. So this is the whole body, and oh, perfect. So we really do not need this color, so I'm removing it. It should have gone by now. Perfect, great. It shows that we are doing something right. So let's go back to our HTML. What do we do? In order to achieve what we are doing, we are going to be creating something called section tag. Inside the section tag, we are going to also be creating something called div tag. So our section tag is going to be parent, our div tag is going to be child. So in HTML we have child, children, parents, grandparents, whatever it is. So we're going to be creating something called section tags. And inside it, we're going to be creating div tag. So now that is what you remember I told you about class. Now we are going to be creating class. It is not that we cannot select section and div directly, just like we did for body tag inside our style sheet. But in case you are creating more than one section and you just want to use whatever I'm doing right now for your hero banner section, then it's important that we give it a class so you don't, everything is not clustered together and you don't get confused like, oh my god, but why am I not getting it? So I'm going to be giving a class so that you understand it better. Here, let's just give it a class. Remember what I called a class earlier? It's called an attribute. So anything you just write like this is an attribute. Remember, your attribute is usually written in the first tag. You don't write it here. If you write it here, it becomes void. It becomes none. You understand? So it must be written here in the first tag. Good. So you always put it, and I'm supposed to type it the code, but you already put it there. So let's name it hero because it's going to be our hero section. I'm going to give this a class as well, a class attribute, and what should I name this? Okay, let me name it banner. Okay, just like hero section, hero banner, you dig. All right, so always format and save. Oh, sorry, and save. But believe me, nothing is going to show here yet. Why? Because we haven't styled it yet. We haven't told the computer that this is the type of styling we want. We only, wrote the structure in the HTML. We haven't done anything to it. So let's go back. Before we go, let's remember that our section class is called hero and our div class is called banner. So what do? We go to style.css. When we get to style.css, now how do we select a class in HTML? By writing dot, and the first class we're selecting is hero. We put a space and we write something called curly brackets. I usually like to give a space in between my selector so everything does not get clustered together. And the next one is we're going to select banner. We give a space to, and we give it a curly bracket. The curly bracket is important, and you must remember that it is not round bracket, it is curly bracket. Curly bracket. It's okay to make mistake, but you can always come back to the video to watch it again. When I also start coding, I usually make mistake of round brackets. It's okay to make, if you have made such mistake, if you're making the same mistake, it's okay. Most of the people make the mistake, but it's curly brackets. So remember I said the hero banner, the hero is the parent. So let's give it width and height first. Now the width is the what's it called, the right to left, left to right, east to west, west to east, and that is what we call horizontal. Yes, it's horizontal. Yeah, the width is horizontal while the height is vertical. So we want it to have 100% width. Now when I give it 100% width, I'm telling the computer that on any device it's 100% width. On whatever device the viewer is viewing it from, is 100% width. I also want to give it height. I'm telling the computer that it is 100% VH. Do you know what VH means? It says sorry, let me come here. Let me give it space. Is important, and this is not supposed to have a space. Okay, so this is how it's supposed to be. So 100% VH is this view height of any device that you're viewing it on. It's quite simple. Wow, how am I supposed to know that whatever I've done now makes sense? Like, is it really showing? Let me give it a color. I'm going to be giving it a background color. The background color, let me give it a light blue because I'm going to be using a deep blue for the radius. So let me give it a very light blue. I just want to be sure that these are this really makes sense because I do not want to continue working with that. Oh, great, perfect. It shows that our hero is nice. We have our 100% width and we have our 100 VH for the height. So let's go back. Our banner is the child. Now this is really going to be interesting. We are going to have width for it as well. But I do not want 100%, I want 80%. I'm going to be giving height as well. I also do not want 100%, I want 80%. Now this time around you wonder, oh my god, but she used VH the other time. Why is she using percentage again? I'm confused. It's okay, darling. Confused yet. Do not be confused yet. I'm using percentage because I told you banner is a child to hero. So when I say 80%, I'm actually not saying 80% of the view anymore. I'm saying 80% of the parent, which is 80% of the hero. So you will understand now. When we click on the browser, it's going to show how it's going to look like. So to define it well, I'm also going to give it a color. I really need to see what I'm doing. So let me give it a background color. This time around I'm giving it white. Perfect. Great. As you can see that we now have a white box that is the child inside the parent, which we gave a light blue color. But this is not how we want it to be. The last time I checked, we are going to have a 3D effect. It's not even a 2D yet. What's going on? Okay, be patient, guys. Let's get down to business. Now, before we can do anything further, we must make sure that our parent, which is our hero, has a display flex. Why we are giving this display flex is because we want everything inside it to be, to be exactly how we want it to be. I want it to flex and I want the content inside it. Justify content. I want the content inside it to be in the center. Now, when I say justify content, I am actually talking about our horizontal. So horizontally, I want it to be in the center. Is it really going to be in the center? Let's go back to this. Perfect. We can see that horizontally is now in the center. It moved from the left to the center. But we still do not want it to be like this. I also want it to be in the center vertically. So how do we do it? We are going to use something called justify item. Align item, Align item, we are going to also put it into center. Oh, perfect. We get it in the center. This is so beautiful. But we are not done yet. We have a lot of things. We are not done yet. So we still have a lot of things to do. What do we do after this? We say, okay, let's say that we are going to give it round shape. What does that mean? Box radius. No, sorry, border radius. Sorry, border radius. So border radius is what we are going to be giving it. But this time around, we are now working with the banner because the child inside the middle, the child in the center is what we are dealing with right now. So we are giving it something, and it's called border radius. Our border radius, we're going to be giving it 50%. Now we are in the process of making it 3D. Oh, beautiful. We already gave it a beautiful color, white in the middle, and we have a kind of light for our parent div. And now we still need to do a lot of things. What is next? Oh yes, we need to give it a border width. Let's say 40 pixel. Sorry, 40 pixel. I really want it to be big. Our border style is going to be solid. Now what this means is that solid means color, so we're going to be giving it a color. Now what kind of color are we going to be giving it? That is when we now have border color. We need our deep blue. We need it deeper. We need it deeper. Let's see if this has done what we want. Wow. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. This is great. But it's still not giving the 100% 3D that we want. What do we do next? What we are going to do next is called box shadow. We are going to be giving it box shadow. Now box shadow has a lot of attributes, and I will explain it. Now box shadow usually have 4 things, so you can write up to 4, maybe 4 attributes or whatever is being called, 4 things you can write it. Now the first thing you can write in the box shadow is it can be positive or negative. So I'm going to be writing positive. I gave it 40 pixel and I will explain it. So this, the first thing I write here is 40 pixel. So this is like a size, right? Now this is telling me that is either right or left. So is either I want it to be in the right or left. If it's in the right, it is positive, so it's going to be 40 pixel. But if it's in the left, if I want the shadow to be in the left, it's going to be minus because the left is negative. But I'm writing positive, just 40 pixel. So the next attribute I'm going to be giving it is another 40 pixel. But yeah, but this time around I'm going to be using minus 40 pixel. Now this second one is talking about either the top of the container or the bottom of the container. If it's the top of the container, it is negative, so that is why we're writing 40 pixel. If it's at the bottom of the container, it is positive. But this time around, I want the box shadow to be in the top and in the right side. So we're having top and right. So we're having minus 40 for the top, and we're having 40, which is the positive sign, for the right side. The next one here, I'm writing 50 pixel. Now, the third attribute here is talking about the shadow, the blur of the shadow. How do I want it to blur? Like, do I want it to be very blur, or do I want it to just blur a little bit? I really want it to look blur, like, yeah. So I really want it to have the blur effect. It really helps for the 3D. So, and the next attribute, which is the fourth one, is the color. Is solid. Yeah, just going to write the color on it. It's very simple. Here we want it to be black, but the black, I do not want it to be too blacky. So I actually want this to be 700. So I reduce the transparency. I really don't know how this is going to, end up looking like, but for everything I've done here, I really need to see if it makes sense out, to be sincere. So let's go back. Wow, this is beautiful. Is at the top, but I think it should be at the bottom instead of the top. So let's go. So now what do we do here? Since we want it to be at the bottom, this minus sign, we are going to remove it. We're going to remove the negative sign and just leave it at a positive sign because I want it to be at the bottom. Woo, this is great. Like, this is beautiful. Let me take this away from here. It's really disturbing me. I'm sorry if it has been disturbing you from, right from the onset. Okay, so this is great. Like, this is beautiful. So what if we do not want it to be this blur? If I reduce it, it's going to be a little bit darkened. Oh, let me give it the whole of the color. Let's see how it's going to look like. Ooh, okay, so this is, choice. This is your choice, actually. This is your choice, depending on how you like it, how you want it to be. And if we really want the shadow to really move, backward a little bit, if we want it to, like, backward a little bit, we can extend this to 50 pixel. And these to also 50 pixel. This is beautiful. This is great. This is nice. So it's very simple. You can watch the video over and over and over again. That's just it. That's what I want to teach for today. Thank you so much. If you have any question or you want me to add anything later in the comment section, please do not hesitate to write it in the comment section. I will have listening ears. And if you think there's something I could have done better, please, I am also learning as I'm teaching you. I'm self-taught as well. Yes, I'm self-taught. So, yes, we learn every day. And I also love to learn more and more and more. So, take care. God bless you. Bye.